Well, thank you for joining us, and with me, and thank you to you also, is Dr. Joe Gaydos.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Chief Scientist of the SeaDoc Society, and will also be my guest at Sound Conversations at the Seattle Aquarium. A sample of some of the things we're going to talk about, and I guess one topic that might be an appropriate one to begin with is SeaDoc Society. What is its mission, and how does it differ from other areas or other groups in this area?
Right, so SeaDoc is like sea doctors. We're concerned with the health of the Salish Sea. And we're a marine conservation group, Jeff, but we're science-based. So we're interested in producing and using science to make better decisions. And the difference between SeaDoc Society and other groups that are doing science is we're not just doing science because we're interested in it. We want to do science where it can help us make better decisions. And so not only are we interested in doing the science, but we're interested in getting it out to the people that make decisions, so policymakers, managers, and the general public.
You mentioned Salish Sea. That may not be a term familiar to all of our viewers out here. Give us a quick definition of what that is.
So the Salish Sea is the inland waters shared between Washington and British Columbia. It goes from the south in Olympia all the way past Seattle up to Campbell River and all the way out the Strait of Juan de Fuca, about 17,000 square kilometers of sea.
You mentioned various health issues of the Salish Sea, and one of those that we've seen, I believe the figure is more than 1 million sea stars that people are familiar with in Puget Sound have died since, I think, summer of 2013. You recently had a summit. Do you have a better fix for what might be the cause of that and whether it continues to pose an ongoing problem?
Yeah, so the Seattle Aquarium in January hosted a summit where people came from all over the country and all over the West Coast who were studying this. And there's definitely a viral component to this. A paper came out in Proceedings of National Academy of Sciences shows there's a parvovirus-like virus that's involved. But I think there are probably a lot of other factors that are involved that we're still trying to understand. Water temperature, the potential for toxins to be involved, and other stressors. Disease in sea stars is like disease in people. Just sometimes you can have something there, Ebola, and it can cause a lot of deaths. But think about the flu. Lots of people get exposed to it, but not everybody dies. So we're trying to right now figure out what are the multitude of different factors that really cause this outbreak. And what's it going to do to the ocean now that we're missing these top predators?
And we're going from sea stars to a much bigger resident of the Salish Sea, and that is killer whales. And if I understand correctly, you're working to develop personal health records for these. What exactly are those, and what would you hope to learn from them?
Right, so we have 84 southern resident killer whales that are all identified. And they're some of the best studied marine mammals in the world. We know them by name, we know who their mothers were, some of them who their fathers were, and we know what their contaminant levels are, what fecal stress hormones are like, but all that information is carried in different places. And what we want to do is just consolidate all that information into one health record. You don't go to the doctor and say, oh, I have to make a phone call to the radiologist, I have to call the oncologist. It's all in one place. And that allows you to take better care of the animals themselves, but also look for population trends where we can maybe figure out things that we could be doing better to take care of that population.
And what that says about the health of the Salish Sea and our environment as a whole.
Exactly. So just as they're dependent on the Salish Sea, we're also dependent on the Salish Sea.
This is going to be a topic that Dr. Gaydos and I will be discussing in much greater detail, and some fascinating stories too that we'll be sharing, and that's going to be Wednesday the 20th of this month. Doors open at 6:30. The program begins at 7:30, and tickets are still available. You can get those online at the Seattle Aquarium website. Dr. Gaydos, again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Jeff. I look forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it, and we hope to see you there.